I just want to say this is kind of a strange sermon, and I entitled it, "When You Have God, You Don't Need Trickery." There's so many things in our lives that takes our attention away, and we try to define it in a way that we can identify with it. And when I say identify with it, we in our heart know when we're doing something wrong. We know when we have not placed our all before the Lord and allow Him to guide us and read our Bibles and pray regularly and look out not just for ourselves, but our family and our friends, and who are looking at us for help, for love, for establishing character in ourselves that we can share with our friends, that they know our walk, they know our talk, they know when they have to pull our brothers or sisters aside and talk to them, and just put your arms around them and humbly tell them, this is probably not the right thing to say or do. So what I mean by trickery, when we're not living everything that we know is right, but we try to give the aura that I am truly doing what I know is right. And then we go on, and I use some scriptures, if I can get you to turn with me. Well, I know Pastor Green won't appreciate it, but I'm in the New Living Translation Bible. And so what I'm starting with is, and this is going to catch you by surprise, because from Abraham, and I know what a walk he had with the Lord, but he had some trickery in him. When he came time to came in among King Abimelech, who the whole his whole unit of people were telling him just how beautiful Sarah was, who was Sarah. Where? In the Bible? I'm going to Genesis, the 20th chapter, and is where I'm reading from. I'm gonna read it all out to you. And it says, Abraham moved south to the Negev and lived for a while between Kadesh and Shur. And when he moved to Gerar, while living there as a foreigner, Abraham introduced his wife Sarah by saying, "She is my sister." So King Abimelech of Gerar sent to Sarah and had her brought to him at his palace. But that night God came to Abimelech in a dream and told him, "You are a dead man, for the woman you have taken is already married." But Abimelech had not slept with her yet, so he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Didn't Abraham tell me she is my sister?" And see, when he knew she was his wife, the cultures have changed, and the wife was actually his sister. They had the same father, but not the same mother. But so he was allowed to marry her. And so, but she was such a beautiful girl or woman that everyone just took note of her. Everywhere she went, that's the first thing they said, your wife is beautiful. And so these things complicated Abraham's life, because Abraham wanted to live, actually. So he would tell her, he said, when anybody asks you, tell them you are my sister, because he felt like he would be killed and his wife taken from him because she was so beautiful. So he said it a few times, tell them I'm your brother. Tell them you're my sister. So he wanted to live. And so this went on. And let me read the rest of this. It's frightening. But that night God came to Abimelech in a dream and told him, you are a dead man, for the woman you have taken is already married. But Abimelech had not slept with her yet. And he said, Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Didn't Abraham tell me she was my sister? And she herself said, he is my brother. I acted in complete innocence. My hands are clean. And in the dream, God responded, yes, I know you're innocent. That's why I kept you from sinning against me and why I did not let you touch her. Now return the woman to her husband, and he will pray for you, for he is a prophet. Then you will live. But if you don't return her to him, you can be sure that you and all your people will die. Abimelech got up early the next morning and quickly called all his servants together. When he told them what had happened, the men were terrified. Then Abimelech called for Abraham. What have you done to us? He demanded. What crime have I committed that deserves treatment like this, making me and my kingdom guilty of this great sin? No one should ever do what you have done. Whatever possessed you to do such a thing? Abraham replied, I thought this is a godless place. They will want my wife and will kill me to get her. And she really is my sister, for we both have the same father, but different mothers. And I married her. Boy, when we start leaning to our own understanding, that's where we get a lot of trouble in our lives. We have to come out, because the church represents everything good, everything correct, everything that the Lord has placed in our hearts, that we might be an example to them. We might lead them the right way. We can't give a shifty view of why we serve and who we serve. We have to always have in our hearts what is good, what is right, what is righteous. How can I help this brother? How can I help this sister? How can I say anything that is against what we teach, what we believe, how we walk? Because they're watching us every day. Everything we say, we have to say it in a way that will keep people in the straight and narrow. And I'll say straight and narrow, I mean that. To walk with the Lord, it's not easy to just do what we think is right. When you see that you have goodness in your heart, how can you have cleverness on the side? How can I say, I'll do this, but he don't know, she don't know? But we have to always have that in mind, that we live and walk as unto the Lord. Our ways and our thoughts are not his, but we have a chance to kneel before him and ask him, is this right for this moment? Can I go and do these things that don't seem right, but there's some shiftiness in it? And we know it, that's why we brought it to the Lord. So we have this process that we go through. And the process